Your Wiley Plus course for Anatomy and Physiology includes several virtual laboratory resources that can be assigned or used for student practice. Let's take a look at the virtual lab materials available that can be used to reinforce concepts and procedures learned in your in-person lab, as well as to replicate lab experiences in the absence of a physical lab. Most student study time will be spent in the Read, Study, and Practice section of Wiley Plus. On the chapter-level landing page, you'll find a visual toolbar that links to all of your course-level resources. Recall that we have already taken a look at two very powerful virtual dissection resources in the course, Real Anatomy and the Dissection Videos Library. For a brief recap on these programs and their suggested uses in your course, refer back to the dissection video tutorial within your Wiley Plus Instructor Academy curriculum. There is one additional anatomy-focused resource within Wiley Plus. Also accessible from the Key Resources ribbon, click on Anatomy Drill and Practice for drag and drop and fill-in labeling exercises using text illustrations, histology micrographs, cadaver photographs, and plastic models. Students can try these low-pressure practice activities on their own as many times as they like. Alternatively, you may choose to assign anatomy drill and practice questions to your students. Choose from Level 1 questions, where students drag and drop terms to their appropriate location, or select Level 2 questions that ask students to type in the name of the structures. Both question types are automatically graded within Wiley Plus. Within your Wiley Plus course for A&P, you'll also find physiology laboratory simulation software called PowerPhys. PowerPhys includes 14 experiments and lab reports for individual or group work. The program will take students through the steps of the scientific method and help reinforce techniques experienced in an in-person laboratory setting. You can access the complete PowerPhys program from the Key Resources ribbon, which will direct you to the home page listing all 14 activities. Here you will also find a helpful tour and a help button. Each activity progresses through 6 sections, identified by the tabs at the top of the screen. At the bottom of the screen, you can navigate back to the home page or access help at any time. PowerPhys is designed to encourage you to move sequentially through the scientific method by following the tabs at the top of the screen. Each activity begins with the Objectives and Review tab. Here you'll find the objectives of the experiment, an animation to clarify key physiological concepts, and some background text to review your knowledge before you begin. Pop-up links in blue highlight important terms and definitions, while red text can be clicked on to view a helpful relevant illustration. After the review material, you can take a pre-lab quiz located on the next tab to test your understanding. The pre-lab quiz presents 10 multiple-choice questions with instant feedback. The actual experiment begins on the next tab, Pre-Lab Reporting. You can skip directly to this tab, although it is recommended that you complete the review work first. The Pre-Lab Reporting tab presents a synopsis of the experiment you're about to perform. Next, you'll be asked to make predictions about the outcome of the experiment. The information you enter here is saved and submitted to the lab report once you click Submit to Lab Report. The last step of this section is to define the variables of the experiment. You'll be asked to enter the dependent, independent, and controlled variables, and once again save that information and submit it to your lab report. You're now ready to perform the experiment from the Data Collection tab. The screen for each activity will include images of the subjects participating in the experiment, replicas of the appropriate laboratory equipment, a computer screen where graphs and data will appear, and a directions button that will provide step-by-step instructions to guide you through the experiment. The data generated from each experiment within the activity is recorded in tables and automatically saved to your lab report. Once all of the experiments have been successfully completed, you'll be directed to click on the Data Analysis tab. Here you'll be asked to calculate values based upon the results gathered in data collection. The screen will show one or several partially completed tables with directions for completion. The necessary formulas are provided to help you calculate the values. A calculator is also provided in the top left corner of each table. Once the data has been calculated and entered into the tables, click on See Graphs to see your data presented graphically. Both the completed tables and graphs will be submitted to the lab report. The last step is to complete the Lab Report tab, where you'll be asked to answer questions based on the data generated. Once completed, you have the option to save the report or create a PDF version that can be emailed or printed. While the complete program can be easily accessed from the Key Resources ribbon, students will also find direct links on the chapter-level landing pages to specific PowerPhys activities relevant to the chapter content. As the instructor, you may choose to assign the pre-created PowerPhys assignments within those chapters. Each assignment contains 20 multiple-choice questions that is automatically graded within Wiley+. To recap, there are a few anatomy virtual lab resources available within Wiley+: Real Anatomy, dissection videos, and Anatomy Drill and Practice. To enhance student understanding of physiological processes, have your students engage with PowerPhys to simulate a laboratory experience in a virtual environment.